Just $19.99 per month. So if you are ordering, it's going to save you an awful lot of money. So do take advantage, of course, of our Freedom Club. You get all sorts of benefits from there as well. The free delivery, you've got no contract, you can opt in or out. You'll see all the details on the website, of course, but do take advantage if you can.
Are you ready to start your next crafty project from the comfort of your own home? Then join us for our fantastically floral Spring Saves event here at Hochanda. From Thursday the 21st of May at 6 p.m. to Tuesday the 26th of May at 6 p.m. We will be bringing you all your crafting favourites along with a bonus that lets you save as you spend. When you make any purchase during the event, you will be given a £5 credit to spend against any purchase of £30 or more on the following day. So don't miss out on Hochanda's Spring Savers event blooming onto your screens from 6 p.m. on Thursday the 21st of May.
Hi, I'm Bev. Hi, I'm Sam. And we're from Be Crafty. Be Crafty is a family-run company. Sam is my sister. And we love bringing brand new products to Hochanda. We manufacture and design all our own ranges of stamps, inkables, MDF, lots and lots of inspiration that we love to bring and share with you.
If you tune in to Hochanda to join us, you'll see that mine and Bev's style are totally different. But what that does is it brings you lots of styles and techniques that you can include in your crafting too.
Our ranges are increasing all the time with the lovely hand-drawn images that Sam and myself are trying to bring to you, plus the fantastic new designs that we like to bring in the inkables, in the dinkables and the MDF as well, so you can use them across all different sorts of crafts and bring the best we can to Hochanda too. So make sure you don't miss the Be Crafty shows on Hochanda.
Hi everyone, I'm Phil Martin. I've been a paper crafter for well over 20 years now and a designer for just over 10 years. Sentimentally Yours is my multi-award winning brand of clear stamps, rubber stamps. I've now also introduced lots of craft dyes in there, designer papers. I have my mediums where we've introduced the Flawless Media brand into the Sentimentally Yours family. So on our Hochanda shows we aim to inspire you, to be educational and to teach you how to get the most from the products that we're bringing to you. The Sentimentally Yours family has grown to include my good friend Julia Watts and our new designer Trudy Howard. Hopefully we're all going to bring something different to the show, so you're going to be enriched with lots of different ideas and inspiration. Be sure to join us for our Sentimentally Yours shows on Hochanda.
Hi, I'm Jenny Mays from Hobby Art. Hobby Art's a family-run company and we've been designing and manufacturing stamps for over 28 years now. We have an extensive range of clear and rubber stamps and we're proud that they're all manufactured in Britain. Whatever your style, there's always something that will interest you with Hobby Art stamps. Crafting is my passion and I love teaching. I love sharing my ideas with other people. This is why I enjoy being part of the Hochanda family, because I have the time to share my ideas, maybe open a door for somebody and give them the confidence to start stamping. So make sure you join me, Jenny Mays, on Hochanda.
Hello, yes, back again for another hour with the fabulous Ali from Stamps Away, of course. Now, I'm going to show you some brand new items. Been a busy day for Ali, actually, because this is the third show in one day that she's had. We have had very, very busy items indeed. Now, just a little reminder at the top of the hour as well, as I like to do, give you a reminder about the event, because the Spring Savers is our event that we're currently running. That means that, of course, if you've not made a purchase already today and you happen to purchase throughout this hour, at midnight tonight, we'll give you a £5 credit on your account account. And then if you want to spend tomorrow, as long as you're spending £30 or more, then we'll take you that £5 off your purchase. And that is going to continue through to the end of the event, so you can kind of roll things over. Right, let's get into business though, because we've got some fabulous new todays. The first item, it's one item, but we've got different choices for you, and we're starting with our most popular choice, and it's this one. It's the steampunk. Now, what are you getting here? This is a full workshop kit. Absolutely amazing value as well, I've got to say. Well, what are we getting in this particular option? You have got, and I've got to say this is so heavy because it is made of plaster. How wonderful is that skull? Just look at that. Now you can see finished samples for each of the workshop kits here, but obviously you're going to learn things as you go along, because you're getting a DVD included as well that's going to go step by step through there. Now with the steampunk that we're looking at the moment, almost 80% of the stock has gone. Now you are getting the skull there, you're getting the plaster cogs there as well, you're getting various components in the MDF. These are laser cut for you as well, so you're going to pop those out. You've got the stand and everything. You've got even the goggles as well. Look at this. The lens is there for the goggles. You're getting the templates there to create the heart. You've got ultra thick embossing powder. You are getting your glue. You're getting your black gesso. You're getting your gleams in there as well. Come back to that in a little while. And you are getting your DVD with your tutorial. Now that is option number one. Of course, the lady herself is here in the studio. Just going to give her a quick wave actually. Ali, are you all right? Are you raring to go?
I'm fine, I'm ready.
Fabulous. Fabulous. We will be seeing a lot of Ali, of course. Item numbers there on the screen. Let's have a look at the other two options as well. On all of them, you are making that saving of £10 and a penny, and we've got a flexi-buy option for you as well. Our second option is our pirate treasure. Oh, I think this is my favourite actually. I love them all. And something I will just point out now as well, if you are going for more than one of these sets, when it comes to the gleams, you're getting a different colour in each set, so you're not going to get a duplication there. You will get a glue in each set, you will get a black gesso, but they're products that you're going to use quite heavily and aren't going to last as long as maybe the gleams, because that goes such a long way. So it is great that you've got the different colours there. Now when it comes to the pirate treasure, again you've got that fabulous skull in there, but you've also got the chest itself as well. You can see there you've got the different components in the MDF, all laser cut again, including the coins. You've got the ultra thick embossing powder in this one as well. You've got the fabric that's going to create the top of the head there, the bandana so to speak. What's the official name of a pirate's headscarf thing? Is it a bandana? What would you call it? I don't know. Somebody email in and tell me. I can't think if there's another name for it. And then, of course, you get your mesh as well, which you can mould with heating that up as well. Everything's going to be in the step-by-step tutorial once again. And, of course, you're going to learn so much going along that you can take that over into other projects as well. So if you want that option, same item number, same price, flexi-buy for you there as well. But there is a third option, because the beautiful frames is our third option. A little bit different as a bundle, because you are getting your glue, you're getting your gesso in there, but you've got the white gesso in this one. You've got a different colour of the gleams as well, but you're also getting some ink sprays in this, two different colours, a green and a blue. They look very similar there on screen because they're so highly concentrated, but they are beautiful colours. Of course, you've got other things in there as well. We've got some more mesh, we've got some little treasures in there, little beads and things like that, a little treasure chest of things. You've got papers in there, MDF, two of the frames, plaster cast again, and of course you've got that all-important DVD. So there you go, that's your three options. Item number 380062, all carrying that same saving of £10 and a penny. Now when it comes to the plaster cast, we've got more items for you, and I can tell you this next option has been extremely busy. Both of these are now an extended delivery. It's one item number, but it's a choice. Now the skull is limited stock again, so if you want to go for the skull, decorate it in your own way, or maybe duplicate it to a project that you've done with one of the workshop kits, then that's the option for you. You've also got the ancient column as well. Now I am going to say this is the final show for today. If you really want, especially the skull at the moment, because we are on that limited stock there, this is the extended stock, remember. 334342 is the item number. The choice of one, you can go for both if you like, but you'll need to put the multiples of 2 in, so you've got one of each for £9.99. Now, moving on, we've got more plaster casts for you. Now, you've got a set of 2, 1 item number again, but different choices. Now, you can go for the beautiful frames. It's a set of 2. You do get the MDF back that goes in there as well. You can put whatever you want in there, pictures, moulded items. Just use your bits and pieces that you've got around home. In front of an album, these would look amazing, maybe with a wedding picturing as well. So you've got the 2 frames there, that's one option. Then we have the fob watch. I do like this. Ali's got some amazing samples over at her area of the studio as well. Look at the detail in that one. So many different mediums can be used with it as well. So you've got 2 of those. And then we have 2 hands. Now I am going to point it out just in case anybody gets a bit confused. You do get 2 hands, but they're both right hands. You don't get a left and a right. Individually, you see, you're probably just going to use 1 per project, so it doesn't really matter, does it there? But they're great. You can do all sorts with those. Something special about those as well, I'm just going to say it now actually. They've been created so that you can have as though the hand is holding something in the palm. And Ali again has got a lovely sample to show you over at her side of the studio. Freedom price on this one, £13.49. Freedom members, £14.99. If you're not a Freedom member, remember postage and packaging applies. 121587 is the item number. Let's have a quick look at the website. There we are. We've got some stencils for you as well. Now, Gilding Flakes, another favourite of Ali's. Gesso's on there for you. We've got the candy shop gleams there. We've got more glue. We've got all sorts for you, haven't we? Now, don't forget, we've got 7-day savers as well. They will run out tomorrow at 8 o'clock and we'll launch some new ones. So take advantage of the savings as soon as you can, because we are counting down on the time on that one, of course. But the moment we've all been waiting for, of course, is to see Ali demonstrate for us. And I can't wait to see what she's got in store for us during this hour. So we're heading over there right now. Hello, Ali.
Hello. Hello. So we're going to do a column, but just going back to what you were saying about the hand, we've got one here where it's holding a little postcard, and I thought that'd be really nice. You could put a photo in that. Oh. But from a practical point of view, you can fit remote controls and things in there, so you could actually have it on the coffee table with the remote control in on my side of the room, obviously. This one here, I took an old Christmas decoration of a heart, so it's holding a heart.
That is so clever.
Again, but I was also thinking Melissa from Simply Vintage wants to do one because she wants it to hold her business cards at shows.
What a good idea.
Because I've got one that I've decoupaged with book pages. So because it's plaster, you can cover it in all sorts of things. So there's all sorts of different things you can do with them. And the more you think about it, the more ideas that come to you. So now a lot of fun. It is a little bit weird the first time because you're sort of moving around because it's so 3-dimensional. We're so used to having flat back things, to actually work completely 3-dimensional was a bit it was a learning curve actually, because you suddenly have to think of getting around that you can view it from all sides. So but I'm going to actually do an ancient column, and it was the one I started earlier, but all I've done now is I've just gone over the whole thing with black, and I thought we'd have a little play. Because the mica spray sold out and I wanted to have that metallic-y, mica-y feel, I thought we'd have a little play with the candy shop gleams, because if I can just reach across here, this was the idea of what I was working towards. I wanted that kind of under the sea sort of feel, but I say without the mica sprays, I thought, right, okay, let's have a play and see what we can do. So what I've got is the candy shop gleams, and as you can see, these aren't normal colours. So you've got the Parma Violet one, and when you start to rub that on, it brings out a lovely pink colour, but it's obviously still got that purple as well, so as it catches the light. And I'm not overly thinking about where I'm putting this, I'm just running it round. I want to get this colour and this mica into here. Okay, oh, yeah, they are quite heavy, so I'm just rubbing it on with my finger. Always, I've said it every show, but it's something I do automatically now. I put my finger into the softness of it and then scrape off the excess, so you don't end up with too much on your finger, because it's almost like jelly. It feels like it's more like a gel, so it's very easy the first time. If you're used to using the harder solvent-based gilding waxes, it's very easy to stick your finger too far in and get covered in it. So that's that one. Okay, I'm now going to use a bit of the pink, and again the pink has got a different colour that comes through. It's got a more purpley colour, so that will blend together with, it's quite nice being able to just roll it around. Okay, I made sure that most of the gesso was dry when I did this, because if the gesso's wet, as you're rubbing your finger around, you'll pick up the gesso and that would actually go over the top of your gilding wax and interfere with the colour. So you can see the more you rub that, the colour changes. Right, I'm quite happy with that. Now, this is going to seem a little bit odd, but I'm going to take the ink sprays from the frames kit and I'm going to spray that on. Now, that might sound a bit odd because we're going on to black, but as you can see, it'll interfere with the mica and the gilding, the mica and the gilding wax, but it will change the tone of the black. I know, so that sounds a bit odd, and the first time I did it, I wasn't expecting as much of a change as I got. And I'm going to do the same with bringing the bit of the green. The green actually adds a warmth to the black. Okay, I'm going to count to 10 and let that soak in a little bit. Counting, 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 being really patient. You can see how those colours have taken on top of that gilding wax and changed the tones. You're getting a variety of tones coming through. The green on top of the pink gives it a fabulous aged look. So I'm just letting this soak in. So it's really blended those colours together and just warmed up the black. It's not flat, boring black now. It's got tone, it's got a bit of aging going on in it. And the more you roll it around, you're obviously picking some up from your paper as well. Okay, so I'd let that dry a bit. Still a bit wet, but as Natasha knows, I'm not the most patient person, as she obviously isn't either. See, Catherine works with clay, so she's more patient than the rest of us. Right, so this is the sherbet lime. This is the one that I used earlier with the scourer to get the mossy effect. But this time I'm going on a bit more heavy-handed with it. So it's really about building up tones. And you'll think, oh, you're doing a lot here. You're putting a lot on. But you use such a small amount of the gilding and a couple of puffs on the spray. It really isn't a huge amount of materials, but the depth of colour that you get is fabulous. Okay, and I am going to, now, that's the one. This copper gilding wax, I broke the cardinal rule with. I went to bed and I'd left the lid off it. Okay, now because these are water-based, it wasn't a complete disaster, but it's gone a little bit firmer. So actually it's more like a cake sort of consistency, and if I wanted to revive it I could put a little bit of water into it, but I actually really like using it. So if you've got a pot that's nearly empty, just leave the lid off for about an hour to let it dry out a bit, and you'll find that you'll use up every last scrap of it, but in a different way. It's just, it's really odd. It's one of those happy accidents. Okay, starting to get happy with that. So I'm going to just give that a little puff of the green. Okay, and I'm going to be really good and let that soak in. While that's soaking in, I want to make some flowers to put around the bottom. I've got some of my fake ivy which I will add to it, but the only flowers I've got aren't quite the right colours. Fear not, there are ways and means. Take the lid off your spray, separate the flowers, holding the wires, dip them in, pull it out, and as you pull it out it sort of squeezes it out a little bit. I've now got a lovely green flower. I'm going to do the same with this one. Now this is how you'll find out how I end up with such dirty fingers all the time, because I want to add the same tones that I've got going on in my column here to those flowers. So I need to add the gilding waxes to them. So while they're still wet, so that the gilding wax will react to it, I'm going to just add a little bit, and what will happen is, it's probably really hard for you to see on camera, but as you touch the gilding wax on the wet petal, it sort of sucks it into the liquid and moves it around, and it adds a real nice sort of, almost, it's like a watercolory effect, but with metallic. You can actually sort of feel it pulling it off, and you can see when you're doing it at home, you'll actually see the mica from the gilding wax dancing in the ink. Okay. And if I was at home and I'd happened to have just finished cooking dinner, I may accidentally pop them on a baking tray and pop them in the oven while it's warm to help them dry quicker. Now, if you do notice you get a little bit of the ink in the top of your gilding wax, just dab a kitchen towel off, and it will, because it floats on the surface, it will just suck away and not contaminate your... So I'm just going to give those a little dry. So what you end up with, unlike applying the gilding wax to a dry flower where you'd get a very clear demarcation of where the gilding wax and the ink meet, this blends in a little bit more, and it just gives it a nice, really aged look. And you can do the same with blue as well to give different tones. Okay, so I'm not going to do a full column, but you can see that you're getting that lovely, the rainbow of colours from the sort of almost like an oil on water look. We're going to add some flowers. Now that I've done the dipping, I can just cut the wires off. They do need a little bit more drying time, and I will be driving home looking like the Incredible Hulk, but nothing unusual in that. One car has glitter embedded in the steering wheel. You know, that's perfectly normal. Don't tell the husband. That's how it got there. So we just start building up some detail down there, adding these, and again, or even on these leaves, they're a bit too perfectly green, so again you could give them a spritz. You could rub some gilding wax onto them, wrap them round, and if you want to attach something like this that's got a life of its own, put a good blob of glue down. Either leave it for 5 minutes to start curing in the air, or if you're impatient, give it a blast with a heat gun and then press your item into it. And what I've been using is the weight of the column to hold the bottom leaf in place, and then you've got your vine wrapped round.
Fabulous stuff there from Ali. I've got to say this now, but so Ali knows, she must show us in a little while some of the samples she's got over there. The column with the mermaid on, Ali, don't forget to show that at some point. In fact, can we see it now? Can we just have a look at this? This is just amazing. If you like the ancient column, then it is available. But look at this piece of artwork that Ali's created. Isn't that just stunning? We'll come in a little bit closer, Ali, hopefully.
Which one? Number 3.
There we go. That is just amazing. It just shows you what you can create with, you know, things we've got lying around the home.
Yeah, I mean, her hair is done just using the glue.
Wow.
So just rub it through. There's a little bit of scrap fabric. Because it was a plastic children's toy, the tail was a bit too plasticky looking. So I had some holey fabric. Looks a bit like of string vest material, so I wrapped that round, again dipped it into the glue so it would go hard, and then it's again building up the tones and the colours. It's all about not being afraid to put on colours that you wouldn't necessarily think you need, because that's what gives it that depth and that idea. And she is held in place just using our glue. She has got a shell under her tummy just to give her that angle, because trying to get it to dry with that angle was a bit tricky, but a bit of patience and we got it.
Isn't that amazing? It really, really is stunning. So just what you can achieve with the kits that we've got here. Obviously, when we come to the new kits, and we've got 3 different options, it's a particular project that you're going to create, but you're going to learn so much about the different effects and the way that you can sort of carry those effects forward and then use them in projects like the mermaid. Let's have another look at this one, because of course it has been our steampunk version that's been the most popular. Approaching 80% of the stock gone. Now you do get the incredible plaster skull as part of this kit. But not only that, you are getting the cogs in there as well. That forms the base of this particular item. So you've got the weight there at the base and on the top, but of course the components in between are going to hold that beautifully. You've got really good strong pieces here with the MDF that's locked together for the actual base itself, or the stem of the base. You've got all sorts of cogs and various different components in there. You've got the top hat to create there as well, and I'm going to call it template pieces, but they're kind of die cut pieces ready to coat on there, and of course those finishes are going to make it look spectacular. You even get the fabric and the lenses to make the goggles as well. There's ultra thick embossing powder, you've got your glue, your black gesso, you've got your gleams in there as well, that beautiful sort of light gold, and of course you're getting your step-by-step DVD. So this is, you know, there's so many hints and tips I'm sure thrown in there from Ali as well, all that. So it really is incredible because it is a workshop. That is an entire workshop. £20 is the payment for the first payment if you're taking FlexiBuy, £20 in a month's time as well. You're saving £10 and a penny. Item number 380062. But there are two other options, don't forget. That's the first one. The Pirate Treasure is our second one. Now you're getting so much in this kit again. So once again, you're going to get the skull. You're going to get that plaster skull. That is, of course, really essential for this project. You are going to get the chest that you can build up. Again, you've got all the components there. You're going to pop those out and build that together. You've got the coins. You've got the mesh that you can heat and shape as well. You've got the fabric to form that. I'm still going to call it a bandana because I don't know if there's another name. But that, I think it is a bandana. Everybody's agreeing. Maybe there is a special name, I don't know. But you're going to create that as well. And you can make this unique by changing the position of that as well, of course, if you wanted to. You're going to get the black gesso, the glue, but a different colour gleams in this one. You've also got treasure in this and ultra thick embossing powder. It's just an incredible kit. It really, really is. There's still bits I've not mentioned. Same item number, same price, same saving, just a different option. Then moving down, we have our beautiful frames. Now it's nice to have another option like this because maybe you want to go more down the pretty route, you can do. If you want to go more grungy, you can, but you are getting the sprays in the blue and the green that have been used so widely actually in Ali's demonstrations. And of course, with the black gesso in the other kits, you can make those colours look different. In this particular kit, you're getting the white gesso and you're getting the copper gleams in there as well. You've also got backing papers, you've got templates to create the rolled roses, which you can see in the sample pieces here as well. So once again, an awful lot for your money. I've still only gone through a fraction of the items in there. Same item number 380062. So they are your three options. Nothing to stop you going for more than one, of course. Now, the next item has been so busy throughout the day. The skull is available under this item number. It is limited stock, and that's extended delivery. We're also on extended delivery for the column as well, the ancient column that Ali was using there in the first demonstration. Approaching limited on the extended for that one as well. 334, 342. There's so much that you can do with that. You can turn that into a beautiful piece of home decor or create a mermaid like we've just seen there. Item number 334, 342, as I've just said, both on extended delivery. Grab those now while you can before we sell out again, and this is the final hour, don't forget, for Ali today. Next item number, it consists of three different options again. Now you are getting a pair of everything. So the first option are the two frames, the beautiful frames. You do get the plaster cast frames, but you also get the MDF piece for the back as well that sits in there. It is moulded, so you have got that recess to sit that in there. Now that is absolutely beautiful because you can put photographs in there, you can put your moulded items in there, your flowers in there. It just goes on, doesn't it? Now the fob watch, this has been a popular one. We're limited stock on this option now. You can see there's a freedom price available as well, gives you a further reduction on this item. And of course then the third option are the hands. You will get two right hands. You are likely to be using those as individual items, so you don't need the pair. They're just fabulous, aren't they? Look at that. You could be holding not just business cards or a heart or the other items that Ali mentioned. You could create something really magnificent with those. 121587 is the item number, and don't forget you are getting a pair of whatever you're choosing, but there are those options. Right, moving down. You might have spotted these on the website this hour, but it's the first time we're looking at them live. You've got a wonderful bundle of stencils here. Now you're getting the whole lot for just $14.99. You are getting the A4 stencil. You can see you've got all the cogs there. This is your steampunk stencil collection. As long as sorry, along with the A4 one, you're also getting the 3 6x6s there as well. Great designs, of course, from Stamps Away. £14.99, as I say, for the whole bundle. Item number 736995. There we go. Now, just before I go back to Ali, just going to remind you about some of the 7-day savers. They will finish tomorrow at 8 o'clock and we'll launch new ones. Don't miss out on these savings. Let's have a look at the Pink Frog Crafts Ice Gold Paper and Card Collection. A4, that's the size. You're getting 120 GSM and 300 GSM, 50 sheets of each. Look at that saving. £12 saving, just £15. Tim Holtz, what about Tim Holtz? Well, we all know who he is, don't we? If you don't, where have you been? There we are. You've got the, oh, this is fabulous, Ideology Paper Stash cardstock. This is the wallflower version, so there's a whole range of different themes. Now, great saving on this. Look at this, £16 saving, £24.99. I think Ali would love that. 733881 is the item number for that one. There we go. And we've got an embossing set as well. Now you get a pair. You're getting 2 of these. So maybe you want to gift one. Maybe you want to keep one at home. Maybe keep one in your bag for when you go to workshops in the future, of course. Saving £8 on these, just £17.99. Very, very useful indeed. 532487 is the item number. But let's get back to Ali. She's got much more to show us. So we're heading right back over to the other side of the studio right now.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at making a bit of a canvas, and it's going to be a smaller version of this one, which is what I call my time is precious, waste it wisely. And in here, Natasha, don't shout at me, there's a pair of scissors. I'm terrible with scissors. I use them all for all sorts of things, so they end up getting a bit blunt. So don't throw them away. I've actually incorporated them, so that represents my crafting. And there's my paintbrush there. There's the initials of my husband and my dog's hidden in there. There's like a little dog charm. There's all sorts of things. So all those little bits and pieces you save, but the main feature is obviously that fabulous fob watch in the middle. It's hard to actually say how big this is. So what I've got here is an A4 canvas, so you can see it is a sizable piece. So what I've done is I've put plenty of glue down and I've sandwiched a bit of the moulding mesh. You get the moulding mesh in the Beautiful Frames kit and the Pirate Treasure one, but it's also on the website as well if you just want moulding mesh. And then I've just started attaching a couple of little flowers. Also, in some of the workshop kits, you get little bags of treasure. So I've put some glue down and I'm just tipping this to give some texture. So we're just about, obviously on this big one, I spent ages filling more bits and pieces in, but I just wanted to show you how I got to that. Now, the moulding mesh wants heat. So I've got it anchored in place using the plaster cast to anchor it so it's not going to go where I don't want it to. As soon as you apply heat to it, it will want to start reacting. As soon as you remove heat, it stops reacting. And you can sort of hold it to control it a little bit, so if you want it to bend downwards. Okay. And you can really take it, and if it's held by lots of sides, you can create holes in it, which is what we cover in the Pirate Treasure, because we have that net effect coming across. So just bringing it in. I've gone for quite a big piece here. Now, if you don't have a heat tool, because it is, you don't need the heat bit, you can use a hairdryer to do it. So if you don't have a heat tool, you can still do this bit on the workshop. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to gesso, and I have discovered a minor cheat when it comes to lots of dimensional things, because I was sitting there, I was using my paintbrush and I was filling in all the things, and then I would look and all of a sudden there's a bit I've missed, and it was getting a bit frustrating. So I discovered that if you get the vast majority of it covered with your gesso, just a good covering. The moulding mesh is really good because you can lift it up and do underneath. And then you go and raid your travel toiletries, you know, the little plastic bottles you get with the wash bags and things. There's inevitably a spray bottle in there. If you half fill that with some warm water, just going to tip a little bit more out, and then take some of your gesso and mix that in, you can make a gesso spray, which means that you can cheat. So you get to about that sort of stage. So I'm not worrying about trying to get into the, I'm going to add a little bit more to the moulding mesh. And I'm being quite splodgy, that is a technical term. And I'm doing that on purpose because it adds interest into the gesso. It gives it a bit of texture, a bit of finish, a bit of roughness. Okay, so I'm at about the stage I want to be. Only I would do spray black gesso when wearing a pretty pink dress. This could go badly wrong. And there it fills in all your little gaps. Isn't that easier than going in with a paintbrush? When I did this in a workshop, it was like one of those eureka moments, because I used to make them sit there with paintbrushes and fill in all the little gaps. And then I thought, life's too short for that. Mix it with water. But the important thing is you do have to have the vast majority of gesso there, because the watered down gesso will not be as intense, so it won't give us good coverage. So you couldn't do the whole thing with the watered down gesso. It's just to get you into the places that you would otherwise have missed. Okay, so now I have got moulding mesh on here, so I'm going to waft to dry because I don't want it to react too much. If you're absolutely in love with how you've got your moulding mesh and you don't want to risk it moving at all, just let it dry naturally. So this would be what I like to call a cup of tea moment, where you leave your project, have a cup of tea and come back to it. But as I said earlier, and I think it should be something we build into all shows now, we should have cup of tea drying time. Okay, so I'm wafting it, so it's just creating a little bit of warmth. But straight away, as soon as you get that layer of black on, this is the stage where I start to fall in love with it. When it's all different colours and you can't see how it's coming together, especially when you're doing a large piece. This is one of the largest canvases I've ever tackled. That and my man in the background, he's the largest piece I've ever made. Before I'd done the black gesso, I'm like, am I on the right track here? Is this going to work? As soon as you put the black gesso over the top and it all becomes one, you know you're on the right track. And even if you decide, oh no, I'm going to add some more to that, it doesn't matter, just black gesso it, then stick it on. You know, there's ways and means. Right, let's start having some fun with some gilding waxes. So I said earlier about don't do it when the gesso's still wet, but actually it is a little bit wet here, but it just gives you a different effect. And again, it is mucking up the top of my gilding wax a little bit, but it is only the very top. And by the time I finish this, I'll have probably used that top layer anyway. And if I haven't, I can just go in and just wipe it off. Or if it's a very small amount, actually mix it in, because it's not going to alter my gilding wax to a massive degree, because it's like 2 drips. So I'm not the most fussy when it comes to contaminating things. Clear embossing powder can be a bit annoying, especially if you're using it for glazing, so I tend to decant into smaller containers. But stuff like my gesso, a big pot of black gesso isn't going to have a huge amount of contamination from a tiny odd speck of something. So don't make things too stressful for yourself. Craft is not supposed to be stressful. Craft is supposed to be relaxing and enjoyable. And as I was explaining to somebody the other day, they'd done a fabulous piece. It was one of their first mixed media pieces, but you could tell from how she explain it. She wasn't 100% happy. So sometimes if you're not 100% happy with something, take it one step further. Don't stop because you're not happy with it. Take it one step further, and some of the things that you have in your arsenal to do that are your gilding waxes, but they can be a little bit tricky in terms of if you go too far, you think you've ruined it. Gesso, of course, is the leveler of all, but my new go-to rescue item is mica sprays and ink sprays. Because they are a spray, they will give a uniformity over everything. And also they react with any of the other water-based products you've got on your piece. So again, it brings everything together. I'm going to add a little bit of purple here. It might not show up massively on screen, but it will add a warmth. Because quite often people, oh, I don't like you working with black. It's dark. It's grungy. It's miserable. But you add a bit of pink or a bit of purple, even sometimes a green, can add that warmth to it. I said this is the bit. So I better look at the time. Oh no, we've got plenty of time. I can just sit here and. This is what I'm like at home. Hubby will go, well, how's the dinner doing? Dinner? Ah, yes. Do you want to find something in the freezer? Okay, so I would keep going, but I'm going to now add a little bit. So I'm going to come in with my green again, because it will react with that copper. So again, the more you let it do its thing naturally, the more interest you get. Now, if you had a eyeshadow, a mica-based eyeshadow, you could mix a tiny little bit of that, sprinkle it on at this stage while it's really wet, and that would add a sparkle to it as well. When you're making concoctions like that, never make a huge amount, because the ingredients in them don't have the preservative that the pre-made ones have, so they can go off quite easily and they don't smell particularly nice when they've gone off. Now, where's my gold? I'm going to get that ready because I'm going to come quite heavy with the gold now. See, just that blue on top of that copper. This is something I'd never thought of before. I always thought of gilding wax as the final stage, but actually it's happening, it's going more and more in the middle of projects now, with colours going on top of them. So the gold is, it's a classic. Picking out those flowers. So because you've got that netting there, just bouncing it on your finger so it only catches in certain areas. Okay. Just bring some round the edge, just to sort of frame it off. And again, if you think you've gone on too heavy-handed, either use a colour spray to knock it back a little bit, or I say if you're happy with the colours you've got going on, just mix up a little, you know, just put a little bit of water in a spray bottle and use that to help disperse it. And it will just, it's much better than wiping it off completely, because if you wipe it off completely, you tend to wipe off the colour below, and then you're trying to recreate that patch and you end up with a blob in the middle. So it's easier just to give it a spritz of water and let it flow around. So we're nearly done with that one. I just want to add a little sentiment in the corner. Obviously, don't pick it up with mucky fingers. Again, do as I say, not as I do. You'll hear that a lot on all my DVDs. So I'm just going to ink up the edges a little bit, just to go for that. And all this says is we are all time travellers. Memories take us back, dreams take us forward. Again, one of my favourite sayings. Give that a little curl, bit of glue. If this isn't completely dry with the inks, being copier paper, that will suck up some of the colour, so just be aware that would be something you would do towards the end, but I haven't got the luxury of time. So there you go, one little canvas to give you the idea of how I made the big one.
Fabulous work there. I love that saying as well, Ali. I'm going to have to borrow that one. That is amazing. Right, now then, we saw the fob watch being used there. But if you want a full workshop, then it's the first item that we've got on the show, actually, to remind you about first of all. Because if you want to create something from start to finish, these are just amazing to work with. Now, the first option is our steampunk. This has been our sort of forefront leader throughout the day, actually. And you can see why. It's just amazing. Actually, I'm just going to take his little hat off because you can see underneath there, if I just hold this up, look, the whole of it is completed. It's not like, you know, you miss bits out. You're going to see how to do this step by step throughout with the DVD that's included. All the components are there to create this wonderful sample, and you will be learning along the way as well. It is amazing. And the plasticast pieces, so heavy. I mean, can you imagine what that would cost just to post that one piece out? Wow. Well, even if you're not a Freedom member, you've got an absolute bargain because, of course, well, what about our American viewers as well? In fact, I'm going to give you another reminder later. American viewers, we know we've had you on board again today because you have been watching, you have been buying. If you take advantage of the Freedom Club, you're going to save an absolute fortune. What would it cost to ship something like that out of the UK, let alone within the UK? Wow. So many components within that particular collection, as with the others as well. One item number, 3 different options. They're there on the screen. 380062 is the item number you need. That's the first one. Let's have a look at the second one. We have got, of course, our wonderful pirate treasure here. I'm just going to give this a little bit of a turn round, actually, so you can see it from another angle as well, because I didn't do that earlier. Look at that. This is just incredible. It really is. I love it. Absolutely love it. Now you're going to get all the components again to create this, including the skull. That's also in this one. You've got fabric. You've got some of the moulding mesh in there. You've got some string in here. Lots of different components. Some treasure in there as well. Ultra thick embossing powder. You've got your black gesso. Your gold gleams comes in this one. And you've got your glue and, of course, the DVD. So that's option number 2 for you if you want to go for that one. And then the third option we've got are the beautiful frames, which they are truly beautiful, aren't they? Again, plasticast pieces here. You've got the MDF backs in them. You've got the backboards as well, and lots of little embellishments laser cut for you. You've got papers, background papers there. You've even got the templates to create the roll roses that you can see on the canvases there, or on the backboards there. So you've got those ready to work with. Again, moulding mesh in there. This time you're getting the white gesso, you're getting the copper in the gleams. You do get those sprays in this kit as well, the blue and the green. They're in there, and the DVD as well. 380062, again, same saving of £10 and a penny. And a flexi-buy option as well. There you go, 2 payments of £20. Let's just hop over to the website and have another look at everything else on there. We have got the stencils there for you, a new configuration stencils for you there. We've got gilding flakes, one of Ali's favourites. We've got the gesso available for you there as well if you want to go with those pyramids for drying. The glue is there, the gleams, the candy shop gleams, if you want the green, the pink and the lilac that Ali was using in the earlier demonstrations. Really lovely colours. Great effects on your black there as well. But we have got time to get back to Ali before we end the show, because she's still got lots we can see. So I think we're going to hand back over to Ali once again. What have you got for us this time, Ali?
Right, well, I thought I would show that if you change your mind on something, because all the materials can be painted over and over, because they're sturdy, I thought, well, I'd take the frame we did earlier and give it a little bit of an upcycle. So all I've done is I've taken the one that we'd gessoed and things like that, and I've put some white gesso over it. Now, I've not dried this layer, and it's actually sucking up the colour from underneath, which is really nice because it gives, again, a different look. And I would also thought I would show how to do the little rolled roses that come in the kit, because I thought I'd make a little arrangement to go in the corner here. So I think I explained earlier, the reason the rolled rose template looks a bit odd is I tend to freehand mine because they have a more natural look to them. So when we said, right, we needed a template in there, Paul said, right, you take one of your flowers and I'll make a template from that. So I made a freehand flower, laid it down, drew round it, and that's what became the template. So when you're cutting it out, don't worry, you don't have to be accurate. It can be, you can add extra wobbles in, but it just gives it that more natural look. We even put the paper in for you to make them. I found a really nice weight paper that takes ink nicely, so we put that in as well. So you just need yourself, really. So I'm just going round here. And this is all while my gesso's drying and sucking up that lovely blue underneath. So if you didn't want that, you'd let that dry and do another coat of gesso and it would go right over it. But I actually want that. I'm really liking that tone coming through. So I'm just going to start rolling this rose. Round we go. Look at the state of my fingers. Means I've had a good day. If you haven't got mucky fingers, you haven't had a good day. Round we go. So that'll just spring open, a bit of glue. And we're going to add that to there. So hold that. This card's a little bit thicker than the stuff you've got in the kit, so it will have a little bit more of a mind of its own, but we'll have that in the corner there. And I might just make a little leaf as well. A bad leaf. I'll cut it, it's going to be neater. Right, so where's my distress inks? 1 second. Don't know what colours I've got, so that's always fun if you just grab a stack. Oh, fossilised amber. So this will have a warm tone to it. So just to give that a bit of warmth. Now, I'm going to use my distress ink on here as well, just to show, just because you don't do much mixed media doesn't mean that you can't pull in other things you already have in your stash. Inks and things like that, they don't mind whether you're doing it on card or whether you're doing it on MDF. So don't be afraid to experiment with adding Now I know I'm getting gesso into my distress ink, but actually, a little secret, I really like them when I use them later. If you don't want to do that, just make sure your gesso is completely dry. As I said earlier, I am not the best example of looking after things completely, but it will be absolutely fine. If I tip it upside down, the gesso will just mix into the ink and you won't even know it's there. So it's just giving that shading. Okay, so we'll now come in. So this is that gilding wax that I'd let go hard. Just again to show that nothing really is unsalvageable. You might just have to use your imagination a little bit. There we go. I'm going to go back to that distress ink because I want to do that over the top. I'm going to get a clean sponge. So you see, I've just worked that gesso in, so you won't even know. So it just softens down that gilding wax a little bit. Okay, so my flowers to go in there. Do you know what? I think that flower needs a bit more colour. Or let that colour soak in. And I'm going to re-roll that in a minute because I hadn't let the glue dry. So the tighter you roll it, the smaller your flower becomes. If it's too big, you can actually just shorten your roll. Remember in the tip, if you are struggling with a firm of, say for example you're making these out of graphic 45, which is a really sturdy paper, and you want it, you haven't got the patience to hold it, or you want to get on with something else, give that a blast. You don't need to reach for your hot glue gun. I'm dangerous with hot glue guns. So we're going to just see, and then that grabs that. Going to add that to there. Quite like that intense colour. See, this is where I'm dangerous because I'm going, oh, I might just add a little bit more of that, a little bit more of that. I'm going to add some of these. So if you wanted these to be perfectly coordinated, it's not a bad match anyway, but you could dip them in the same ink you've made your big one out of. Right.
Ali, we've got about 5 minutes left. Is that okay?
Yeah, that'll be fine. I think I might do a little bit of gilding flake.
Ooh.
Do you know what? I think I've never done this onto the raised bit, so we'll see how this comes out. So I'm putting the glue on with my finger. So I'm just going to, this might be I'll have to finish this off and put it on Facebook tomorrow, because I need to let the glue set before I rub it back. But I think that might look quite nice as well. So I'm just going to work some glue, just like I would the gilding wax, so it's picking up the edges. See, this is something our stonemasons across the way, this is that they do the lettering on memorials and things, and you see them applying the glue with the gold leaf, and it's that sort of effect would be, I think, would be quite nice. So I'm just, so this is a on the fly idea, but I think that could work really nicely. And actually I'm using, sounds a bit wrong, but where my finger's a little bit sticky from rubbing the glue on, that's holding the flake while I tap it down, because as I was saying earlier, I try not to put flake back in the pot if it's been applied to a project and then rubbed off. So by using as little as possible, it avoids wasting it. So there we go. I'm going to put the lid on that. Now again, I've never sped up the glue when I've been gilding flake with a heat gun, so we'll see if this will help us get the finished effect. So clean sponge, moving gently, so you're taking away the excess. Oh yes, that's going to work. Can you see that lovely detail it's picking up? It will look even better if I was patient. But as we've already learned today, that is not in my vocabulary. The other reason, by doing the gilding flake, by picking tiny bits up, when you find a bit that you really like the colour of, you've got the control to put it exactly where you want it. Do you know what? I'm going to take those flowers out now. I don't like them now. Told you I like to change my mind a lot. But I really like, can we see that? The gilded detail. So it picks up, and then so when I let that dry overnight and then give that a final buff so it will really pick up all that detail, I think that will look fabulous.
Lovely stuff, Ali. Yes, do make sure you post it on your Facebook page, because I'm sure a lot of people will be having a look at that finished off, of course. Let's just have another look at those gilding flakes. They are fabulous, of course. We've got those on offer for you as well. You're getting 2 100ml gilding flake pots there. You've got the red and the green. So lovely to have those different colours in one bundle. £9.99, item number 665503. Now let's just give you a reminder of our workshops, because of course it's one item number but 3 different options. So let's have a look at the steampunk version first of all. So just a reminder of what you get in here. I'm going to try and quickly go through everything. The skull, which is plaster cast, so very heavy. You've got the cogs as well that form the bottom of the base. You've got all of the MDF components in there. You've got the pieces that make the top hat, including the covering there. But then you've got your mediums as well. So your embossing powders, your glue, your black gesso, your gleams. You even get the lenses and the goggles. And of course that DVD. 380062 is the item number. £10 and a penny saving. The second option is, of course, the pirate treasure, which I'm just going to again turn to the side so you can see that a little bit more. Amazing, isn't it fabulous? It really, really is. All of the components again there, different colour gleam in there as well, if you want to go for that one. And of course the final option are those beautiful frames that we've just seen Ali using, and there's so much more in the bundle. All of the details are on the website. Take advantage now. The last show today from Ali, 380062 is the item number. Where does the time go? Coming up next, it is the fabulous Natasha with William Morris One Day Special. Then we've got Knitting and Crochet Essentials, followed by another hour with William Morris One Day Special. Bit of a tongue twister, that one. Now, I'm just going to remind all our wonderful viewers in America that, of course, we've got a very special message for you. During the pandemic, of course, we had to stop shipping over to America because of the obvious problems. But now we've started shipping to you again. And it gets better. We've got really good news for you because, of course, the bad news, first of all, is that the price for shipping did go up. So individually, if you were having items shipped, it would cost you $12.95. But being a Freedom member or becoming a Freedom member, all you will pay per month is $19.99. You get unlimited standard delivery, no contracts, you get exclusive discounts and a monthly newsletter. You even get a member's badge. So do take advantage of the Freedom Club, especially if you're in America at the moment, because you're going to save a fortune. If you're ordering from Ali's show, just think of the way to that. Just think of the money you're going to save. So it's good news for everybody all round, and we do appreciate your business as well in America. So thank you for being on board.
Hello, my name's Stuart and I'm the Managing Director of Oakwood Archer. Oakwood Archer is a family-run business and my son and my daughter work very hard with me to bring the best craft items to you in the UK. We specialise in high-quality items brought into the UK from all over the world, including brands like Kaisercraft, Stampendous and Impression Obsession. Working with Hochanda is fantastic for us. It gives us the opportunity to bring all of these brands and all of these products from all over the world direct to you, the crafter in the UK. Our products include stamps, dies, papers, buttons, trimmings, ribbons and album making kits. Just about everything you need to be a good crafter. So please don't miss Oakwood Archer shows on Hochanda.
Did you know you can watch Hochanda 24 hours a day, 7 days a week using the Hochanda app on your Amazon Fire Stick for free? Just like your smartphone accesses an app store to add new applications, your Amazon Fire Stick accesses the Amazon App Store to add new applications. By downloading the Hochanda app, you'll be able to access your favourite craft channel on your TV anytime you want to watch. Here's how to do it. Simply turn on your TV and connect your Amazon Fire Stick. If this is your first time using the device, follow the on-screen instructions to connect to the internet and log into your Amazon account. Once set up, you'll need to open the search bar. To do so, simply use your remote circular directional dial to scroll to the search icon and select it. Now simply type Hochanda into the search bar and this will take you to the Hochanda app. All you need to do now is select download and remember, it's free. Once this is added to your Fire Stick, you can move the app for easy access. Press and hold your home button on any app and then select apps from the menu that appears. Scroll down to the Hochanda app and press the button with the 3 horizontal lines on your remote and select Move to Front. And that's it! You can now watch, purchase and catch up with your favourite shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on your TV whenever you feel crafty.
Hi, I'm Lou from Studio Light. Studio Light has been around for about 40 years now. They're based in the Netherlands. It's a family-run business with a great heritage. The products that Studio Light bring us are very diverse, fantastic dyes, great papers, but all round on trend. Over the 40 years Studio Light have evolved. They listen to me, the demonstrator, and you, the customers, and really take our ideas on board. On the Hochanda shows, we'll share with you the diverse techniques and products will inspire you to produce your own individual pieces of artwork. So make sure you don't miss the studio light shows on Hochanda.
Now, my word, we had the most phenomenally busy launch of your William Morris one-day special. It is such a sought-after brand. Now, we've got Natasha in the studio with us here, and there she is, there you go. And she's going to be talking us through, obviously, our beautiful, beautiful fabrics. Now, I can tell you, it's already busy. Now, both options, you've got the slate and you've got the linen of your one-day special, sold out during the launch. We've managed to get a little bit back, and it will now be dispatched from the 3rd of June. So a little bit of a wait, but well worth it. Natasha, these beautiful... What is it you think that people love about William Morris fabrics?
Absolutely timeless. You're looking at arts and crafts movement. That's what we get when we get William Morris. It's strange actually. During his lifetime, he was best known as a poet, but after his death, we know him for his fabrics, for his tapestries, for his home decor, effectively. But his influence was massive during the Victorian era, and it's still incredibly popular today. I think because he takes his inspiration from nature, and so. That doesn't age, does it? It's like, you know, flowers. Not this year, thanks. It's not. It's absolutely timeless. Birds, so last year. It's not the case, and so they stand the test of time, and that's what we have here.
Absolutely beautiful. Now, in the one-day special, you've got your choices. You're getting 7.5 meters. It is all quilting weight as well. I'm never very good at folding these. Never very good.